Welcome to Furniture Industry News for November 6, 2024. Today, we're bringing you the latest developments shaping the furniture industry landscape. We'll dive into some significant changes in ocean shipping rates, explore fascinating consumer trends from a new McKinsey report, and examine important financial updates from major industry players. We'll also look at how proposed tariffs could impact our industry and discuss some notable changes in the retail landscape. Stay tuned as we break down what these developments mean for furniture professionals like you. The shipping landscape continues to evolve, with ocean container rates showing their first uptick since July, rising 4% to reach $3,213 per 40-foot container. While this increase is noteworthy, rates from Shanghai to key U.S. ports have remained relatively stable. However, industry experts are flagging several concerns on the horizon. Looking ahead to early 2025, there's growing anxiety about potential disruptions. The January 15th deadline for East and Gulf Coast labor negotiations is looming large, with automation remaining a contentious issue that could trigger port strikes if no agreement is reached. Adding to these concerns, the upcoming U.S. presidential election is prompting many shippers to front-load volumes in anticipation of possible new tariffs. The Lunar New Year, beginning January 29th, is expected to create additional pressure on shipping volumes, as it typically does each year. Current market conditions are showing particular strain on the West Coast, where vessel space is extremely tight, especially at Pacific Southwest ports. East Coast vessels are also operating at near capacity, with carriers already implementing rate increases and eyeing additional hikes in the coming weeks. A new report from McKinsey & Company reveals fascinating shifts in consumer behavior that furniture industry professionals should be watching closely. The study identifies 9 key trends, with demographic changes taking center stage. By 2030, 3/4 of consumers in emerging markets will be between 15 and 34 years old, and these younger buyers are showing both optimism and willingness to spend. At the same time, the growing population of consumers over 65 represents a significant opportunity. High-income baby boomers and silent generation consumers make up 30% of the U.S. market and are more likely to spend on discretionary purchases, including home improvement. Interestingly, despite economic pressures, middle-income consumers in both the United States and Europe are still planning to splurge on discretionary items at rates similar to high-income consumers. Another notable trend is the decline in brand loyalty. Since the pandemic disrupted typical buying patterns, consumers have become more willing to explore alternative brands, and this behavior has stuck. We're also seeing a shift in where people shop, with secondary cities emerging as new retail hotspots. These smaller metropolitan areas, particularly in the South and West, are showing strong consumer spending patterns, with residents just as likely to splurge on purchases as those in larger cities. New concerns are emerging about the potential impact of proposed tariffs on the furniture industry, according to a detailed study just released by the National Retail Federation. Their analysis shows American consumers could see their spending power reduced by anywhere from $46 billion to $78 billion annually if new import tariffs are implemented. The impact on furniture specifically could be substantial, with the study projecting price increases of 6 to 10% on many home furnishing items. The NRF emphasizes that these increased costs would be too significant for retailers to absorb, meaning consumers would bear the burden through higher prices. While some U.S. manufacturers might see benefits from these tariffs, the NRF's analysis indicates that any gains to domestic producers and Treasury revenue would not offset the overall negative impact on consumer purchasing power. Industry experts note that these potential price increases could significantly affect buying patterns and overall furniture sales volumes in the coming years. 2 major financial developments are making waves in the furniture industry this week. Lovesac, the furniture retailer known for its modular seating, has agreed to pay $1.5 million to settle charges brought by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC alleged that the company and 2 former employees violated accounting practices related to shipping expenses, specifically failing to properly record $2.2 million in shipping costs during fiscal year 2023. Meanwhile, Purple Innovation reported challenging third-quarter results with net sales dropping 15.3% to $118.6 million. The mattress company attributes this decline to three main factors: decreased consumer demand, reduced advertising spending, and difficult comparisons to last year's premium line rollout. The company's direct-to-consumer business saw an 11.7% decline, while wholesale sales fell by 20.1%. Purple is now consolidating its manufacturing operations and has closed 2 Utah facilities, resulting in about 300 job reductions as they work to improve operational efficiency. In other industry news, a long-standing furniture retailer in Delaware is closing its doors. Furniture Barn, a family-owned business that has served the Newcastle community for 5 decades, has announced it will cease operations. David Everett, who has managed the store for 33 years, explains that recent years have brought significant challenges, particularly following the COVID-19 pandemic. The store, which grew to include a 20,000-square-foot showroom since its founding in 1974, has struggled to adapt to dramatic changes in the retail landscape. The closure reflects broader shifts we're seeing in traditional furniture retail as businesses grapple with evolving consumer shopping habits and market pressures. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Furniture Industry News. If you found this information valuable, please subscribe to stay updated on the latest developments in the furniture industry. Until next time, this has been your source for essential furniture industry updates.